Hi everyone, my name's Oakenfull and I'm back again for another deconstruction. This time I'm going to be breaking down the seminal track by Crystal Waters, Gypsy Woman. Okay, so before we start, let's just get into a few fun facts about the track. So, written by Crystal Waters and Neil Conway, produced by the Basement Boys. They were a really popular production team in the 90s. Released back in 1991 on the 3rd of April. It came out on Mercury Records and it's from the album Surprise from 1991. It did really well. It got to #2 in the UK charts and views on YouTube so far are 81 million. So pretty good, pretty popular track. Style-wise, it's kind of definitely got that 90s house feel and it's really jazzy as well, and we'll get into a bit of that later, kind of what the chords are doing. Production-wise, using one of the classic sounds of the 90s, the Korg M1, and also the Roland 909 drum machine as well. And a little bonus fact that I read is that actually the vocal hook, the classic vocal hook, was influenced by the bass line. So we'll be looking at the bass line as well. Okay, so let's get into it. So I've got Ableton Live Suite here and also Ableton's Push version 3. So this is going to be controlling live and I'm going to be using it to play in some of the part and arrange it as well. Okay, so before we start, let's look at the main organ part. And I'm using the Korg plugin for this. It's the M1 plugin. It's a fantastic plugin. It's just got all the original sounds. So I'm going to be using that for the organ and the piano. Okay, so we're going to start off by recording in the chords. And let's just bring up my virtual MIDI piano keyboard so you can see what I'm playing. We'll look at a bit of music theory afterwards. So here we go. Let's play in these chords. There we go, so distinctive. Okay, so let's just check that that went in okay. There weren't any mistakes with the timing. Take the metronome off now. Okay, so let's have a look at what's going on there, music theory wise. So here are the chords. We're in D minor, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, and D. And we can define the chords by the degrees of the scale. So this is our 1 chord here. We've got a D minor 9 here. This is the 9th note, and it's just going down to the D. So it's going from a D minor 9 to a D minor 7. That kind of riff. Then it goes to the 5 chord, A minor 7, B flat major 7, 6 chord, G minor 7, it's the 4 chord, and then this really interesting jazzy chord here, which I've written down as a C7 flat 9. It's like the 7th chord. You could actually play an A in the bass to make it sort of more like a sort of dominant 7th chord. And then it rises back up, resolves to the 1 chord again. Back to the A minor 7, B flat major 7, and then up to the E minor 7. And then this E flat major 7 here. So this is like can be called a Neapolitan chord or maybe a tritone substitution, but that's kind of going, again, resolving down to the 1 chord. So there we go, we're in D minor, remember that, and we've got the chords in. Let's look at the beat. So I've just got the standard Ableton 909 kit here, and we're just going to play in a kick, clap, open hi-hat and closed hi-hat. So let's record that in. I don't think we need the metronome. Okay, so here we go, let's record it in. Okay, it's recorded in the clap. Open hi-hat. Now let's try the closed hi-hat. Okay, so that's a 2-bar pattern. I want to turn it into a 4-bar pattern, and then the last bar, just put in an extra kick. So I'm just going to press the double loop button there and just select the last 2 bars, and let's just put in that extra kick. There we go. Turn it back into a 4-bar again. Now, one really important aspect of this beat is it's actually really swung. I'm going to just use the swing function on live here. Just press quantize, and then let's just put in quite an extreme swing. Let's put like 40%, and then listen to the difference. And I'm keeping the chords straight. I'm actually going to keep everything kind of else straight, but just that beat swung, and I think you get quite a nice kind of interplay there between the two. Okay, so that's the beat. We're now going to go to the bass, and I'm just using an Ableton analog device here. It's one I use on loads of tracks, use it all the time. Not sure what they might have used on the original track. It might have been the kind of the lately bass or one of those kind of FM sounds, but I thought this works really well. Now this is very interesting because I spent a lot of time trying to figure out what was going on with the bass line. It doesn't seem to be just following the root of the chord. It's actually more melodic. And like I said in the intro, it was actually the bass line that influenced the vocal melody. So I've transcribed it here, and you can see it's really melodic. So I'll just play it to you now. You might be thinking, how is that going to fit in with this? But let's play along, and hopefully you can see how it sounds. Let's record it in. There we go. So I really love that. I really love the fact it's giving the track a lot of movement, and it's just sounding a little bit unconventional, which is great. Okay, so I've got another part now I want to add, which is this drum break here, which I've split up. So I'll play that in, and then I'll show you actually how I split that up. So let's record it in. So if we listen to the two together, this is the drum break. So that's with it, without it. It just kind of adds a nice bit of sort of crusty sound to it, which is really good. So let me show you how I did that. I'm just going to create an audio track here. I'll just mute that for the moment. And I used this break here. So what I wanted to do is to actually split that so that I could play it on the pads just as I did then. So I'm just going to drag that onto an audio track there. Very loud, sorry. Okay, and I'm going to right click on there and slice to new MIDI track. I'm just going to select transients there. Transients are the kind of peaks in the waveform, and click on OK. And then I'm going to get rid of that original audio track there. And you can see what it's done. It's put it onto these pads here into a drum rack, which is great. But there's a few things around this, like if I hold it down, it's kind of looping as well, and it's also cutting off really, really quickly. So there's a few things to do there. First of all, we're going to take the loop length down. Then we're also going to take the release up as well. And then we can actually go in sample by sample and just kind of tidy it up a little bit. So you can see there's a little bit of a tail. Again there, we don't really want that little kind of clicky sound. And that as well. Quite like that, I might kind of keep that bit of hi-hat. I can actually now kind of have that. It's really good. So we're nearly there. There's one more part, and we're going to dive straight back into the Korg M1. Now, you should recognize this sound. It's kind of used on everything now. It's the Korg M1 piano. Absolutely beautiful. Come on, let's play it in again. I could just copy it across from the organ, but I'm going to play it in again. So here we go. Here's... All right, so we've got the music parts in here, and rather than kind of build an arrangement, I'm just going to keep the tracks as they are, and I'm going to just do some muting. But before that, I want to try out the Acapella. In order to get the Acapella, I used a really great piece of software called Neural Mix Pro. And what this does is you can throw in like any track and it will split it into the component parts, like stems. So you can split it into the vocals, the harmonic elements, bass, and the drums. So I did it for this track, and let's just have a quick play. You can hear what it sounds like. This is with everything. Okay, let's try taking out the harmonic element. There we go. We've just got the Acapella on its own. Amazing. So this is really great for kind of remixing or just kind of analysing a track and understand what's going on. Let's just move it forward a little bit to when some of the other elements come in. So we can hear the drums, the bass. Now this is kind of what I use as a reference point to try and work out the bass line, so really useful. There's other kind of software applications that do similar things, but I really love the way this works. So let's go back here, and what I did is I exported that Acapella, something you can do from Neural Mix Pro, and I put it into the arrange view of Ableton here. And now, because she cares, y'all, her day I wouldn't be right without her makeup. And I split it into different sections so that I could then kind of put it into clips here. So I'll just drag that over. This is what I did. And I put it into clips. And I've just set it so that it launches the next clip afterwards. So I can just play the clip here, and then it will automatically launch the clip afterwards. Just to do her hand now, because she cares, y'all. So it means that I can have that running and then kind of play around with the arrangement just on mute and know that those clips are going to keep playing. One of the other kind of quite interesting things about the track is that the vocal doesn't really follow kind of a set arrangement. It comes at different points within a kind of 8-bar loop. So it kind of makes it quite difficult to actually do the triggering if I was to create an arrangement here. So I'm going to try it on the fly. One thing I'm going to do here is just take away this stop button on there, and I'm also just going to shoot over here and I'm going to duplicate this organ clip here, and we're going to have a little play around. So let's just start by muting a few elements. Let's just take out the bass, that drum break, and the M1 piano, and let's have a play through the track. Here we go. Here's Gypsy Woman by Crystal Waters, recreated in Ableton Live. Okay, bring in the beat. And the drums. Piano. Let's try taking out the organ. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that deconstruction as much as I did. Please check out all our courses at Point Blank Music School. You can learn loads more stuff like this, loads of music theory, production, kind of electronic music performance, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon for another deconstruction.